She is considered the uncrowned princess, equestrian star and first beauty of the Principality of Monaco. Charlotte Marie Pomelin Casiraghi, daughter of Princess Caroline and granddaughter of the legendary Grace Kelly, does not aspire to make the front pages of newspapers and magazines unless, of course, it is about her own articles. We will tell you more about that. However, she succeeds, despite the fact that members of the local princely house are given much more freedom of action and the right to privacy, which cannot always boast of their colleagues, say, from Britain or Spain. Charlotte remains a favorite of the world's press, second only to the Princess Charlene herself. Charlotte is fantastically beautiful, superbly educated, successful, and of royal blood. Miss Casiraghi does not like dramas and does not give unnecessary reasons to arrange a reality show from her own life, but even from those bits of information that she allows herself to learn about herself, it becomes clear that if you want her biography could well be turned into a quality novel. We tell you what would then form the basis of it, being a princess without a title. I'm not a princess. My mom is, but I'm not. I am the niece of the head of state, so I perform some representational duties, nothing exceptional and nothing that would limit me in any way, is how Charlotte Casiraghi explained her status in the ancient Grimaldi dynasty that has ruled Monaco for centuries to Vogue Paris magazine. Indeed, as much as many would like it to be otherwise, Charlotte does not use any royal titles, although the press often likes to call her princess either for convenience or in defiance of the rules of the princely throne, which do not allow a girl to be called what she, in fact, deserves. Unlike her half-sister Alexandra or cousins Jacques and Gabriella, Charlotte's father was not a prince, but a commoner businessman Stefano Casiraghi, who tragically died when the girl was 4 years old. Anxiety and longing haunts any person, the girl admitted in an interview with L'Observateur de Monaco. I too have faced a series of sad events, for example, when my dad died. But these things can happen to anyone, regardless of their background. Charlotte recalled that she felt lonely as a child, her father died early and her mother was busy with her duties for the monarchy. The girl, however, received the upbringing of a true aristocrat. Perfectionist by nature, Charlotte brilliantly studied at school, adored literature and foreign languages, and later received an education at the prestigious Lycée Fenelon and the Sorbonne. Yes, Charlotte does not wear a tiara, although you can imagine how it would look on her family decoration. You can look at a photo of her mother in her youth, on which Charlotte looks phenomenal, but this does not cancel the fact that she remains a member of the august family and even retains the right to the throne. In fact, despite the lack of regalia, she does everything the same as her relatives, except in a smaller volume. Thus, every year she attends the famous Bal de la Rose, which is held every year to raise funds for the Princess Grace Foundation to help sick children. Charlotte is also actively involved in the social life of her country. She is the honorary chairman of Jumping International de Monte Carlo, an international show jumping competition, a position previously held by her mother, and even patronizes the public security department of the Monaco police force, a position she was appointed to by her uncle. The Formula One Grand Prix, held annually in Monte Carlo, is a very important event in the country's life. Charlotte takes part in its organization, and also presents trophies to the winners of the race. Like many members of European royal families, Charlotte from childhood was engaged in equestrian sports, as they say, to dull the pain of loneliness in the absence of maternal care. The first years the girl lived not in Monaco, and in France. Perhaps in this she is a bit like the British Princess Anne, who also spent half of her childhood at the racetrack. Success in this case to Charlotte came early. She won many youth competitions. At the age of 22 she took part in the prestigious Global Champions Tour, where she visited Cannes, Estoril and Rio de Janeiro and won the Grand Prix in Valencia. In fact, it was due to her successes that Charlotte received the chairmanship of Jumping International de Monte Carlo from her mother in 2010. Mrs. Casiraghi still does not give up this sport, and throughout her life has interrupted training only a few times, during her studies and during pregnancy. Who knows, maybe if Charlotte had not been so successful in equestrian sport, she would not have been noticed by the fashion house Gucci, which prepared exclusive outfits for her for each of her competitions. However, this point in the life of the Monegasque beauty is worthy of a separate story. We believe in heredity, so we never doubted that sooner or later the girl will be offered modeling contracts. Her mother Caroline and Aunt Stephanie posed for glossies when she was young, and her legendary grandmother Grace doesn't need to be mentioned at all. The main admirer of Charlotte's beauty became the Gucci brand, with the creative director of which the granddaughter of Princess Grace came together just on the love of horses. Under the auspices of the brand, by the way, there is a separate and very prestigious competition in show jumping Gucci Paris Masters, and Charlotte, of course, participated in it more than once. At first her cooperation with the fashion house was inseparable from equestrian sport. Ms. Casiraghi was literally an ambassador of Gucci professional outfit. But soon the cooperation of the representative of the princely family with the Italian fashion house became much closer. Since 2012, Casiraghi began to represent almost all products of the brand, from a line of cosmetics and fragrances and ending with accessories. Charlotte can still be seen at Gucci shows, despite the fact that the brand has long been headed by Alessandro Michele, not the girl's friend Frida Giannini. In addition, the granddaughter of Grace Kelly had time to cooperate with Montblanc, pose for French and Italian glossies, as well as befriend the entire European fashion bohemia.